When it comes to Shonen Jump, all good things must come to an end, just sometimes some sooner than others. However, a manga that is pretty notable, it's funny because it feels like a newbie and at the same time it already feels like an OG because, yeah, Shonen Jump hasn't had much luck with popping successes over the last couple of years post the Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man era. However, this manga, I'm not gonna lie, of the newbie bunch, it was definitely one of my favorites at first when it first came out. I had read about 15 or so-ish chapters of it before I decided, okay, I'm gonna let it build up, and unfortunately it seems as though it's coming to an end. However, I'm hearing murmurings that this manga is actually not being cancelled per se, but it's more so its natural ending. And this series that I'm referring to, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell, we would greatly appreciate it.
Still moving on, still moving on. This is for my day ones. This is for my day ones.
Come on. The Ichi no Se Family Deadly Sins. It says here the Ichi no Se Family Deadly Sins by Tyson 5 will be reaching its climax next week with chapter 48 in Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 49. So essentially almost close to a year's worth of chapters the Ichi no Se Family Deadly Sins has received, and is already reaching its climax. Now, I'll be honest with you, based on the way the story was written and based on what we know about Tyson 5, it doesn't seem like this story was meant to go that long. To be honest with you, I feel like as short of a run as it feels, because normally, again, you expect a manga to go like 100 chapters, 200 chapters. It definitely felt like after a certain point that the mangaka didn't really know how to make things expand, and it started feeling a bit convoluted, as though, again, the author was throwing in plot twists for the sake of adding plot twists. So the fact that it is ending now, a part of me wonders, like, well, was it successful enough that Shonen Jump, despite it ending ridiculously early in comparison to some of, the manga that they axe at this point? I think Masashi Kishimoto, creator of Naruto's last manga that he tried to, release in Shonen Jump, ended around this particular point in like the 40s or so of chapters, and yet that was considered a failure and ultimately never went anywhere post it ending. I could potentially see the Ichi no Se Family Deadly Sins at some given point maybe getting some sort of anime adaptation, a very small run, maybe even a 12 episode. I don't know about a 24 episode, but I could see potentially a 12 episoder, and maybe them cutting out a lot of the fact of like, yo, this plot twist and that plot twist, because it seems as though Tyson 5 had a pretty concisive story set forth, and then because, again, having to release chapters every week, only having a few days at that in between releases in order to come up with where the story is going to go next, it feels as though the author kind of took the story somewhere else that maybe they initially wasn't planning. So I'm wondering, again, if this manga is indeed ending naturally and it's not being canceled out of Shonen Jump's existence, if there's a possibility that at 48 chapters, if it'll be able to be adapted, and will it be considered a success, considering the fact that with 4 volumes, I think it is averaging like about 100,000 copies a volume over time. Obviously, first week sales aren't great for it, but yeah, I'm very interested to see where things go moving forward. This is not a classic case of Shonen Jump canceling or axing stuff, because Tyson 5 is not a long-running mangaka. Usually they go for a short period. I think their previous series, Tokopi's Original Sin, wasn't that much of a long runner either. So yeah, very interesting feeling, to be honest with you. I do think I will go back and read the rest of this thing because I did enjoy what I had read, but it's not necessarily being canceled. It might just be a case of, yo, the author had this much to say and this is what you got. And if that's the case, it kind of makes me think, man, I wish Death Note would have had that same option back in the day. Then we probably would have damn near a masterpiece of a series, which Death Note is great. But yeah, you know the story. If you don't, Death Note was supposed to end at a certain point, and the authors were pushed to keep it going a little more for the anime's sake. Yeah, but only time will tell. Either way, Tyson 5's The Ichi no Se Family Deadly Sins manga is coming to its climax, which means it's more than likely ending within the next issue or two. And kind of a bummer because, like, once again, this was one of the ones that Shonen Jump has had for about a year now, and it's not lasting long. This is a little bit of a different case, but I say all that to say that Shonen Jump needs to figure their stuff out, and they need to do it quick. I think with Kagurabachi, they are trying to make sure they have something in the pipeline because all of the big guns are coming to an end, like My Hero and, Black Clover got moved out of the magazine, all that jazz, but only time will tell. Either way, I am now diverting from the original subject. Aizen 5's The Ichinose Family Deadly Sins comes to an end. Seriously, though, I didn't expect that at this current moment. I thought it would have been going for a while, considering feels like the author was extending it to begin with.
Thought it would have been, wish it would have been. Acting like I'm fine is getting harder to pretend. I said, thought you would have been, wish you would have been. Maybe I was wrong, it was me all along.